Alright, Chubas, it's gonna be an evening video. Two brand new wheel cylinders for the old pickup truck here. I'm hoping these should fit. I ordered them for 11-inch brakes, and I have 11-inch brakes, front and rear. Last time I did this, that was about 2.5 years ago, I think. The parts store gave me cylinders for 10-inch brakes, and I was actually able to use the internals of the new ones and put it in the old ones. And it lasted me up until about now. I'm starting to get some leaks, and after a while I have to bleed the brakes, and then that'll be good to go for a while. So I got these, $17 from Summit Racing, made by Centric. I believe they're brand new. So got both sides. I'm gonna do them right now. Now, one leak that we'll take care of at a later time is I got to replace the axle seal on this side because I kind of messed it up when I put this thing back in here. So what that leaves us with is this ring of yuck. She's looking just a little wet. When I went to bleed this side out, and I had a whole bunch of air, and the pedal I'd have to pump a couple times. So hoping this master cylinder, this brand new one that I put in, isn't leaking. First of all, what size were we on the back there? Yeah, it's a 3/8 for the bleeder screw. We don't need to mess with that. We want you to get a little wrench, knock that off. I'm going to use my 3/8 ratchet here. Oh, pardon me, I did not. So first off, the two bolts holding the back here are halvesies, and then you're going to want to need a handy dandy towel. Okay, I'm using 11mm on the line. I'm going to pull this way, and it broke free. I've been in here before. So it should come free. We just make sure that we can get our line free before we mess around. So what I want to do is I want to get these return springs off. I want to get this one off and this one off, and then what that'll let me do is push these shoes out that way, and then I can undo the line and the two bolts for this cylinder, and it should just pop out. I did the same method on a Ford Ranger, and it worked out great. Oh, I see. I see what you're gonna do. You're gonna be an asshole. Okay, so this popped off a little keeper there, so we'll have to make sure we get this guy back on there. Get this out of the way. Where's that fucking way? So push those two apart. That gives us room to pop this guy out. So we'll come in here and we'll find the line, take it off. What I like about wheel cylinders, you can practically do this in a Walmart parking lot. I got the right one, so left hand side. They fit better than those ones that AutoZone gave me. Now we can just snug that back up, and then get everything put back together. This one here is actually marked as left hand side. Yeah, I should have just done this a long time ago. So what I'm just going to do is a slight kiss of that on there, and then I'll put a tiny bit on the guy there, and these are going to go in like something like that, and I'm gonna I'll wipe off that excess before we get any further. I don't want that getting on my brake stuff, so just a little kiss. Because this is going right up against metal. Put that back on there. Something like that. Like that. Like that. And then the drum, once it gets on here, we'll center it. So now, this being a new wheel cylinder, the bleeder screw is now a 10 millimeter. Do that. So this is my brake bleed setup. This works great on just about any car. So I'll set it over here. I'll put my tubing over the leaf spring. And then I'm using a Honda vacuum hose. I got this from like an 87 Honda Civic. And I'll put this... Oh, it doesn't like its way out of brake fluid, that's for sure. Put that over the end on the bleeder screw, and then I'll just turn it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the drum back on here. And I also need to make sure I readjust this thing. It's pretty loose, so I'm going to adjust it real quick. But you know, at this point, what I recommend is pumping the brake pedal maybe a couple times to get some fluid started in there, and then once you get that flow going, it'll bleed itself out. Don't mind the loud music, it's just my mom's rocking out. So once you see no more air going through this line, lock off your bleeder, top off your master cylinder, and also just put your cap back on if you got one, and you should be good to go. So now I'm going to put my truck back together on this side, and I'm going to go swap out the other. So this portion of your master cylinder, the smaller part's for your rear. I top it off to the very top, leave the cap off, and just do it, you know, if it's not dusty or too windy or whatever. But see, this is what we want our fluid to look like, both front and rear, clear. And this rear here is clearing up a lot better because I've flushed out both sides. It was kind of getting a little cloudy with the old cylinders, so now it's nice and clear with fresh fluid. I mean, you want to have fresh fluid in these master cylinders because they're pretty sensitive. At least it seems. So, I'm not seeing any more air bubbles. It looks like we have fluid going through it, I hope. Oh, there we go. There's some air. Now we got fluid going. We had a big bubble of air come right through that thing. One last thing before I go. I was fighting with that bleeder a little bit, was letting air get in. I kind of figured it would do that because it's pretty loose. The other bleeders, they were tight. So what I did is I just took the line off, let the bleeder dribble, and I saw it until it kind of got to a nice flow, and then I just locked it. And then when you're done and you get the drum back on there, make sure you pump up the brakes, and then you will have a nice solid pedal. And then the brake light came on in my truck, and I gave it a nice good hit with the brake pedal, and they went away. So anyways, here's our these are original Bendix ones. I'm gonna pop these apart here in just a minute. After I wash my hands, I'll put some gloves on, and I'm gonna see what's going on inside of them.